Good morning, you beautiful peeps out there. I'm going to give this a few minutes to see if anybody comes live and online. And I just want to chat with you guys today. I had one of my students reach out to me last week, and I think it was like a, hey, what are you doing in the midst of all this pandemic? How do we keep up our practice? How do we keep up our progress, our mindfulness, our meditation, our self-evolution and growth work? And it was so good to hear from her and communicate with her. And something came across my Facebook feed today that was like seemingly a big milestone that I think that we forget as we go through day after day and year after year, just how much progress we make. And the growth is steady and slow sometimes, and it's sharp and fast other times, and it's a beautiful journey. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that today. So I'm just waiting for a few seconds in case anybody else pops on. And please feel free to ask questions. I did grab my glasses. Yes, total mess. I woke up this morning, just got done meditating, and was going to post something for you guys, and this thing came across my feed, and I wanted to discuss it with you because it's very poignant, I think, and helpful. Maybe it may help you. So if anybody's on there, let me know if you can hear me, and if you have any questions, feel free to post, and thanks for joining me. Okay, so the post I came across was 7 years ago, and it took me a second to track, like, where was I when I posted this 7 years ago? I did a post that said something like, I quit mainstream television and news. Yay! And I remember where I was in a hotel, and I was working on a case in St. George. I practiced law, and I was helping a client there, and I was in the hotel room by myself, and I had access to, for the first time, and probably, I don't know really when I decided to quit watching mainstream news and television, but I finally had access to 100+ channels, and it was like when it was like kid at the candy store. I was like, oh, I can see what this feels like now that I've not watched the mainstream news or television, like no commercials, no news, no I watched Netflix and other things, and I was flipping through, and I opted to just turn it off and listen to the birds and the sounds and the sights and the noises. I opened the sliding window and to my hotel door, and I just listened to I think there was a storm, if I remember right, and I listened to the wind, and then I just enjoyed the sounds of nature. And I had a space held for me to do that, and there was such a different range of living for me to experience in that moment than television. And we think that would be a big giving up, or it would be a disciplinary thing, or people used to tell me, oh, you're going to be disconnected, and you won't know what's going on in the legal arena, and you won't know what's going on in the world. And I've noticed my sense through this pandemic and through 2020, because I've kept up this practice. On occasion on YouTube, I'll see a little blip of a news broadcaster, like a 1 minute blip or something about the pandemic, and every once in a while I'll catch myself and I'll be like, I'm going to click on that and see, and I'll watch a little 1 minute blip or something. But I've really found that I've missed nothing. I've missed nothing, and I have liberated and have access to so much more time in my life, and so much more of my own discernment. I trust my instinct, and I trust my gut, and I trust my intuition so much more, because I haven't given that power over, or that, like, oh, what's going on in the news today, what's going on in the world today. And it's been an amazing gift and it's held a space in my mindfulness and meditation practice to go further and deeper and explore and have fun and get curious and have the time to do that, because I'm no longer a slave to like what's going on in the news, or even watching commercials. And that's such a foreign thing, to watch a commercial after you haven't watched one for years and years and years. They seem so silly. And so what I would say is, when you feel like you get discouraged, or you feel like you haven't made any progress, or you feel like you're lost, or you feel like you're just kind of muddling through and you don't, you're untethered from your compass, or you're in doubt or inquiry, give yourself the love and the space to just look back and do a little look back. That's what that was for me today, was a little look back to say, hey, wow, I'm a completely different human being. They say 7 years, your entire body grows. You grow basically an entire body at the cellular level. And so when I look back at that moment 7 years ago, and I think of the gift that I gave to myself for the last 7 years as I regrew all of the cells in my body, was that during that process they weren't being influenced, pushed, biased in any way by all of that outside influence. And it was like giving myself a gift. And we get so caught up in like, I need to have the concrete, this is the goal, or this is the I want to have the concrete milestones of this goal. I've accomplished this and accomplished this, and it's mindfulness is a nebulous, messy world that doesn't necessarily work like that. But every once in a while, you get a note and and a Facebook note that shows you kind of a milestone that you've done. And the second thing I'll talk to you about, I'm going to post a video for you guys this week on a really beautiful koan that I'm going to start using, or a mantra that I'm going to just put up, my little sticky mantras that I'm going to stick up everywhere and really connect to, that really spoke to me. I was listening to a John Kabat-Zinn talk, and he was talking about one of the sutras, or a monk did a sutra or a saying or something, and some guy just walked by and he heard one line of it, and it was a beautiful line, and I'm gonna put this in my mind as a placeholder, something to pay attention to. And it was, cultivate a mind that clings to nothing. Cultivate a mind that clings to nothing. And I look back over those last 7 years of not being beholden to or attached to the news or the story or the what's next, to that titillation, and I learned that by breaking free from that, I was allowed to have the space to cultivate my mind, to point it in the direction of the things that I thought were important, the things that I needed, the things that were intuitively beneficial, joyous to me. And I think in this day and age, with all of the stuff that's going on, especially with this pandemic, 2020, just kind of drudging along this year with whatever craziness that comes up, we can get stuck in looking for that deeper wisdom in the news, or and we know it's not there, or we look for that deeper wisdom in politics, or we look for that deeper wisdom somewhere else. And for me, when I turned that television set off, that mainstream, news and commercials, it opened up a whole space for me to start to go, oh, this, my mind, this is the thing I can work on. This is the thing I have capacity to access and have it do beautiful things for me. Or it can run all day on the track of fear and doubt and worry and stress. And how to do that, how to have the time to cultivate that. Years and years ago, I guess my intuition and gut said, well, maybe drop that and pick up this. So 2 things. Progress looks so different and amazing, and never think I'm not making progress because I can't sit for this period of time, or this isn't happening in my life, or that. it's about looking creatively at all the amazing gifts and changes and evolution and growth slowly, and appreciating them, and looking, instead of, we look in our society as our milestones come in, I'll make this much money, or I'll have this car, or I'll have this house, and it's always this bigger, better next step. And when we look at progress like that, we miss like the most amazing milestones in our life, because they're not measured by monetary numbers or physical items that we have, but they're measured in, wow, I held the space for myself, I gave up television, and amazing shifts happened all over in my life that I can't measure, that are more valuable than anything I could have, but not, I guess, by society standards. So so start to look creatively outside the box as you progress and you move forward in your mindfulness journey, and see, you know, at the end of the day, is there more peace in my life? Is there more stillness? Or is there, you know, other not tangible, beautiful things that happen? And yeah, and is my practice helping me to cultivate a mind that clings to nothing, that attaches to nothing, that is moment to moment joyful, bouncing? If this isn't working, can I just switch on a dime and think of a newer, a different, more conscious solution, or change, you know, shift from here to here? Or am I stuck in that track of clinging to the old and clinging to these theories and philosophies and archaic things that don't work? Can I have a mind that on a dime drops a negative or anger thought of like, oh, that's just my negativity bias mind. It's wanting to suck me into a story right now. Can I cultivate my mind? Can I look at that and laugh at my ego or my animal, and just uncling from it? And the news and TV and that negativity and watching constantly on edge, we think will feed us and give us that, but it's actually such a distraction, I found, for myself. Maybe not for everyone. I'm not saying this is for everyone. Everybody's mindfulness path and journey is different. So yeah, thanks for joining me today, you guys. I just wanted to share that with you, and hope you have an amazing, beautiful coming into the fall day. Have a great day.